Hey y'all, it's your girl Kitty Cat. Today I want to talk to you all about the Selena series. Now I know I'm late. I'm always late. What's new?
I can't be on time for anything, so don't ever count on it in your life.
I have always been such a huge Selena fan. Did not intend on making a video about the series. I just wanted to make a video because I just felt like it. I feel like in the series there's a lot of things to unpack, and I'm sure other YouTubers have already done this. I don't know, I didn't even check. But I was like, you know what? Like, I know I'm late, but I still want to talk about it because, like, why not? I'll just start off by saying, you know, I'm a 90s baby, so I grew up on the film version of Selena, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite movies growing up. That film came out in like 1998, so over 20 years ago. And even though it's still a great film, we're in a new age now. There's a new generation, and y'all know how the young kids be. They don't want to watch stuff that's old. A couple years back, I remember seeing stuff online about there being a series, and everyone was so excited about the series. Everyone was excited about it, or at least the people I knew, the people I follow, everyone was excited. And then it was like the series came out, and it was like all these mixed reviews. Half the people I follow were really into the series, really enjoyed it, really liked it, and then the other half were not satisfied with the series. And I could see why. I could see why on both ends. But I'm gonna give y'all my perspective. I'm gonna talk about each of the characters, what I thought of them, and just kind of break it all down. Some things I noticed off the bat was, I was like, whoa, this show is very detailed. It really, really shows everything that kind of led up to her success. I learned so much from the series that I didn't know before. I thought I was this like big Selena fan and I knew everything. And this show clearly showed me that I didn't know everything. I will just get out of the way because I think this was a huge thing that everybody was talking about, was the casting and the wigs. I'm not sure how much y'all know about Hollywood and auditions and casting, especially if they're doing something like this where they want someone that looks similar to Selena. There could have been 1,000 people who auditioned that looked just like Selena. But could they act? Could they dance? Could they pull off the role? Could it be realistic? Kind of like the Aaliyah movie, the Whitney Houston movie, all those like kind of Lifetime movies that were made. They were put together really fast. And I think that's kind of how people saw the Selena series. I don't know how quick it was put together. I don't know in terms of production. I don't think the casting was horrible. Selena's sister Suzette is one of the producers on the show, so I mean, the family wants to tell the story. The wigs could have been a lot better. Yes, Selena did have curly hair, but like the textures were not her texture, you know, so the textures could have been better. Another thing about Hollywood is it's really hard to get talent, like really good people who do hair, to do movies and film. Have you ever watched a show or a movie and you thought, like, oh, I feel like the makeup's not good or the hair could have been better? It's so hard to break into doing hair and makeup in Hollywood and in like movies and TV shows because you have to have like a certain amount of hours and this and that. And like most people who do that for a living, they're hustling at the salon. They're so booked, they don't have time to like try to do hours like on set. You know, it's a toss up. That's really what it is. So that's why I wasn't really critiquing too hard on the wigs, because I know like that's just what it is in Hollywood. So give them some grace. But I also get that like Selena should have been better. It should have been, I mean, I don't think in the next season, I don't think the wigs are gonna be an issue because I think it's gonna be like the long black hair in the next season, but we'll circle back to the next season. That's out of the way now, okay? Now let's break down the characters. One thing I appreciated about this series is every character was a little bit more three-dimensional. In the film, I noticed we didn't learn that much about everyone else. AB and Suzette were kind of like background characters. You know, they had a few lines here and there, but we didn't really know their backstory. We didn't know anything about them. The movie primarily focused on Selena. But in the show, we get to see like AB's backstory, Suzette's backstory. I think the only person who we really don't get to see a lot about is the mom. She's very just kind of low key. All the characters actually, their story comes to life and it's not just about Selena. So I'm gonna start with the dad. Abraham, I got my notes here, y'all, so I'm gonna be just kind of like looking up and down. I like Abraham's character, okay? He's kind of a but he's like such a boss. Like he doesn't take no for an answer. He's like just strong. He will make sure Selena's okay, his family's okay. He doesn't take any mess. Like he takes things very seriously. And he's professional. He doesn't play games. He said some very insightful things on the show about like success and just growing and learning and like being a boss. I do feel like he has literally no boundaries with AB. Their relationship is very weird to me. It's weird because it's like AB has this responsibility that no one else in the group has. It's AB's responsibility to make sure there's like enough people, you know, playing the instruments and like writing the music, and there's a lot on his plate, and I just feel like Abraham just kind of puts so much pressure on AB, so I don't really like that. Y'all know how dads can be. He treats AB kind of like a child and just like an employee. I feel like there's not really a father-son relationship there. It really just seems like it's business. Another thing too I noticed about the dad, Abraham, is that he doesn't live in the moment. He reminds me a lot of like what YouTube is like. When you make a YouTube video, that's your baby. Once you put it out, you're like, I'm on to the next one. And that's how Abraham is. They reach an accomplishment or an achievement and everyone's celebrating and he's like, whatever, you know, doesn't matter. Yeah, we won tonight, but what's gonna happen tomorrow night? Like, he's just constantly thinking about business and not enjoying the fruits of his labor. There were a few tender moments with him and Selena that I thought was really sweet. So you do see a different side of him, like when she cut her hair and, you know, she was worried for his reaction and he had her back, you know? So he does have a soft spot. He does have some love in his heart. I'm gonna move on to the mom. Marcella is very sweet and nurturing. One thing I love about Marcella is she keeps Abraham in check. Like, I love how she's like, no, we're not doing that, Abraham. No, Abraham. No, Abraham. She keeps him in check, but somebody needs to, because sometimes Abraham is out of pocket. I love that Marcella just kind of, you know, reins him back in and reminds him, hey dude, these are our kids, okay? Marcella is the glue. If it were not for her, what the heck? There would be no balance. I feel like she is just an amazing, like, just a great rock in that family. Keeps the peace. Her name is Sadie Lopez. She was in the Selena movie as Selena's friend. So I think it's very beautiful how things turn full circle and she gets to be the mom this time around. Let's talk about AB, okay? I think he's pretty fine. I think AB is really handsome. So we all know AB is Selena's older brother. He makes the music, so he's like producing. He wears so many hats. It's like he creates the music, he's in the band, and it's also his responsibility to like recruit band members when people get kicked out or they quit. He's an extremely hard worker and he takes it very seriously. But I noticed he doesn't get to relax. Like, you never see him relaxing. Like, I noticed on the tour bus, everybody's chilling, they're eating chips, they're goofing around, and he's like, can you guys be quiet? I'm trying to make a song. It's like, ooh, dang. He's kind of like, almost in a way like Abraham, of like, it's always business. It's always work. Work, no play. And like, life is too short for it to be like that. But I also understand when you're trying to be successful, you gotta grind. There's so much pressure on AB, like not only creative pressure to make great music, but just pressure to like keep everybody in check. Like, how did that become his job? So he just has so much pressure on his shoulders, and I just couldn't imagine what that's like. But I definitely have a newfound respect for AB. I love that he is business savvy, but he's also very creative. Me personally, as a creative, I could come up with 100 ideas right now, but business stuff, I suck at that. So I think it's amazing to see people like AB who have a mix of both. It's a great balance to have. Suzette, let's talk about Suzette. The reason it took me a really long time to get through the Selena series, and the Suzette character is a big reason why. I was watching it when it came out, just like everybody else, and I realized like how much Suzette is in this story. And I don't have anything against Suzette. Girl who plays Suzette, her name is Noemi Gonzalez. And the way that the way she looks in the show, she looks like somebody that I used to spend a lot of time with. I would watch the show and I just kept seeing my old friend, and I just like couldn't get over it. And it was kind of making it really hard for me to watch it, because it was like, she's just in it so much. Suzette is in it so much. So I actually took a 2-week break from watching the Selena show because of that. It was just like, this is too much. And also I was getting a little bit bored, sort of. Like, I was getting a little bored just because it was kind of moving a little slow during some parts of the series. So I just decided to take a break. I'm not a huge binge watcher. You know, I'm busy. I ain't got time. When I did come back to finish the series, I do enjoy Suzette's energy on the show. She is such a supportive and fabulous sister. Anything that Selena is doing, she's up for it, but she also knows how to play that older sister role when she kind of doesn't approve of things. You would think that maybe Suzette would be jealous or something of Selena and Selena's success. You know, Selena's beautiful, she's the lead singer, she's got all these things going for her, and I'm sure as a sister that might be a little sad to be in the background, but I don't get that vibe from Suzette. Selena's success is Suzette's success, and we need more sisters and more women like that in the world. Out of all of the characters on the show, Suzette was actually my favorite. Okay, y'all, so as I'm going through my notes, I realized I don't have any notes on Selena. And it's a Selena series, I don't even have no notes on her. That's okay. I'll just do this off the top of my head. I love how Selena is very adventurous. I love how she is not afraid to be her true self and isn't afraid of rejection. I think it's super cool how creative she really was, and like, you know, not only just singing, I really enjoyed like her creating her own costumes and having that creative vision. I think that's super cool and very important, you know, as a entertainer, because it's very important to have like a look, you know, a certain style, a certain sound. She was very kind and warm-hearted and a little bit naive, but like innocent in a way too. But she also works super hard. She's kind of a goofball a little bit. Selena's very talented. And I mean, there's a lot of pressure on her too to be great. That doesn't faze her. One thing I also love so much about Selena, she is like such a family person. I love how she puts her family first. Family is her rock, and she doesn't like to do things without her family. I think that's super cute. I do think Selena is a little bit of a people pleaser, just a little bit. But I mean, like, when you're in that position and you just want to be a successful entertainer, you'll do what the people around you say because you really have no choice. I think Selena is very hardworking. She's so kind to everyone. Even though the industry she's in is so cutthroat and super like cold-hearted, she somehow is able to still like have joy in her heart and treat people with kindness, love, professionalism, and respect. And that's something I do really value with Selena, is she stays respectful on set, she stays professional. You know, her dad, you know, flies off the handle, but you notice Selena does not. Even if something makes her uncomfortable, she's not unprofessional about it. So I'm like, okay girl, you go. I love how she kind of rebels at the end with her relationship with Chris, because, you know, Selena's such a good girl. She's such a good girl. In little Selena, she was so cute. The little one, oh, she was cute, and she did a really good job. I could not imagine being an actor going for that role, because that's huge. Like, huge shoes to fill. I think she did a good job. I think she's a pretty good actress. I feel like it was believable. I think the wigs were really the only things that was kind of like distracting. But like I said before, you don't have the wig experts on set. So Chris, okay, in the movie, the Chris in the movie was so hot, y'all. Like, the movie Chris, to me, it was like fire sign energy. In the series, the Chris kind of gave me more water sign energy. He was a little bit more like, Selena, like, I don't know, it's just different to me. Even though his wig, I know a lot of people are talking about his wig too, but I actually recently saw like a small video of like the real Chris Perez, and his hair kind of looks the same. They did the best they could. I feel like the Chris in the show resembled the Chris in real life a little more than the Chris in the movie. I also noticed though the Chris in the series, he was very soft-spoken. And I feel like the Chris in the movie, I know I'm comparing y'all, but like I love the Chris in the movie. The Chris in the movie, like, I feel like he wasn't soft-spoken, like he had a confidence about him, and when he spoke, he had something to say. And I feel like this Chris is just kind of like, Selena, what's going on? But you can tell he cares so much about Selena. Like, you can tell, like, the way he looks at her, the way he looks after her, the way they talk, the way just their whole everything. It's super sweet and it's cute to watch. And he does his job, and he does his job well. So now that I've talked about pretty much all the characters, the main characters anyway, I'm gonna go into my other notes that I got, y'all. I liked also that the band members got more lines in the series than in the movie. I didn't know who Pete was or some of those other band members, so it was nice to actually see them go from 2D, two-dimensional characters in the movie to three-dimensional characters in the series. One thing I also noticed about the show, the series, is they really highlighted that Selena really wanted an English album. And I didn't know that. I mean, in the movie, they kind of touched on that she wanted an English album, but it wasn't as highlighted as it is in the series. In the series, they portray it as that is one of Selena's biggest goals. Some cool little fun facts that I've kind of learned about the Selena series, just so y'all have an idea and you're aware. I don't know when this series was filmed. I don't know if it was filmed before COVID or what happened. The cast of the series never got to meet the family. That is huge. The actors are acting like the family. So if they don't get to meet, they don't get to see how they are in real life, all they have is like videos and stuff they can find on the internet. That's the big, huge difference between the show and the movie. In the movie, the cast members got to meet the family. Jennifer Lopez even lived with the family for a small period of time to kind of pick everything up. I know y'all think, oh my gosh, is this even gonna get a season 2? Season 2 is already done, okay? Season 2 is already done. I don't know why they didn't put it on Netflix yet, but season 2 is already completed. From what I've heard, I saw it on like Entertainment Tonight or something, some interview, but they say in season 2 that the relationship between Selena and Chris is going to evolve. We're going to see more about it, and it's going to dive deeper into their love story. If you haven't read the book To Selena with Love, it's written by her husband, Chris Perez. It is a fabulous book. It's probably one of the best books I've ever written. One of the best books I've ever read. When you read it, that is a book you just can't put down. It's so good. I actually have a review here on my channel if you want to check it out, but it is a great book, great read. Highly recommend it if you're a Selena fan. I think season 2 is going to be a lot better. I think the storyline is going to pick up a little bit more. I think it's going to be way more juicy because I think people really want to see Selena and Chris's story. Their love story is so beautiful. Like, that could be a series and a movie all on its own. I'm going to close out this video. One last thing I will say about the Selena series is I will say that representation is very important, especially in our media. It's very important for us to see representation. Although the Selena film is extraordinary and it's a good movie, time is passing. Time is passing. That movie is over 20 years old now. And even though it's still a very good film, you know, this series will keep her legacy alive. I enjoyed the series. She is an icon, she's a legend, and I think a lot of people have opinions on whether the show should have even been made. I know some people are saying just let her rest, let her be. People want to see Selena. People still want to see what's popping with her. So I feel like the series is going to continue. I don't know, you know, what else is going to happen in season 2, but I guess we'll just have to find out. What did y'all think about the Selena series? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Are you going to watch season 2? Are you not? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye!